Every year, thousands of cars vanish without a trace, but they don't stay missing for long. Instead, they're stripped down, their parts sold off, and their identities erased. This is the dark world of stolen cars and the illegal parts trade.
With car theft being on the rise in the UK to the point where hooded criminals are breaking into innocent people's houses in the middle of the night, we're going to show you how to protect your pride and joy.
Car theft is when a thief will disable your security cameras and create a system to gain access to a vehicle without the permission of the owner. They either break the vehicle's window, duplicate the key fob, or even hack onboard computers. Modern car thieves don't need a crowbar or a broken window. With new technology, they can steal a car in under a minute, without even touching the keys. Relay attacks, clone key fobs, and even hacking onboard computers makes today's car thefts more sophisticated than ever. The stolen car is often unrecognizable within hours. Criminals take it to illegal chop shops where parts are removed and sold. Some end up in online marketplaces, others in garages, and some even overseas. Once stolen, these cars disappear into hidden garages known as chop shops. Within hours, they are completely dismantled, with valuable parts carefully removed and sold on. Some parts end up in scrapyards, while others are sold on online marketplaces. Buyers rarely ask where they came from, making it easy for criminals to keep the cycle going. For the victims, it's more than just a stolen vehicle. It's lost money, lost time, and a feeling of violation. Many never see their pride and joy again.
Someone's rang up Greater Manchester Police to say they left the car in Manchester city centre and it has vanished.
And the cost isn't just personal. Car theft adds millions to insurance claims each year, driving up premiums for everyone. Here's a list of the most stolen car by manufacturer. Surprisingly, Ford is at the top of the stolen cars list. In most particular, the Ford Fiesta and the Ford Focus are the most stolen cars because they're like two of the most popular cars in the world. At number 2 is BMW. Like most of BMW 3 Series and 5 Series cars get stolen. 3rd and 4th is Jaguar Land Rover. People mostly steal Jaguar Land Rover cars because of their performance and the luxury they offer. Volkswagen cars get stolen as well, most particularly the VW Golf and Polo. Toyota cars like the RAV4 and the Prius get stolen, like the new models. And the Nissan Juke is the most stolen Nissan, and the Mitsubishi Outlander is the most stolen Mitsubishi car. I managed to find a case study about a stolen car victim. Former Britain's Got Talent judge and television host Michael McIntyre was among one of the UK's 200 stolen car victims. When he went to collect his children from school, 2 masked roadmen came up to Michael and his Range Rover and broke the window. Not only did they steal his Range Rover, they also stole his Rolex watch from him too. This case study proves that Jaguar Land Rover cars are stolen very often. I interviewed a victim whose car has been stolen, and I mostly asked how she found out about theft and how she informed the police and her insurance company. So, what car did you own before it got stolen?
So the car that was stolen was the Jaguar F-Pace, and prior to that I had a Lexus. I can't even remember the model, but it was a 4x4. It was lovely, very reliable, but I just wanted a better looking car with the nice red leather seats and the cat, obviously. The Jaguar, that was the selling point, was the Jaguar on the steering wheel and on the front grille. I'm a mad cat woman, so that was why I bought it.
Do you still have the V5 document and the other documents for the F-Pace?
I probably still do have the V5 and documents for the car. However, I don't like to even look at it. I've got the keys somewhere as well. I do not like to even open them or look at them because it brings back all the memories. So they are somewhere in the drawer, but as I say, I avoid kind of looking at them because I just want to lay it to rest. In actual fact, I should just get rid of them, but then they're still here just in case, but who knows.
Can you walk me through the moment you realized your car had been stolen?
So this was like 1 a.m. My son said to me, "Mom, is Dad borrowing your car?" Because he heard the engine rev up. But I said, "No, not that I know of." And at that moment, my son ran out of the house at 1 a.m. and he just chased the car, followed it because he could hear it. It hadn't gone far. And he chased it down quite far, and then he lost him sort of near Watford somewhere. So it was when he rang me to ask me whether my husband had taken the car, that was the moment I realised, and I was kind of in shock that someone had taken my car.
How did losing your F-PACE affect you personally and financially?
Initially, I think I was in shock. I didn't quite realise it. It was just like, oh, it can't be happening to me. This is what you read about, or it happens everywhere else. So you just kind of don't believe that it's actually happened. And then I think I just turned to my faith, and my faith helped me. And I thought, well, this was meant to happen. There might be an ulterior motive. This could have actually saved me from bigger harm. The fact that people have been looking at my car, probably eyeing it up for weeks. You know, they've been tracking it, probably tracking me. And I was probably been in a vulnerable position. So it was probably for the best. I actually then accepted it quite quickly. And I took it, I changed my mindset. So instead of being a victim, I turned it into positivity, thinking, okay, it wasn't meant to be for me. Financially, obviously, it was a bit of a struggle. My car was probably about 27 grand. And my insurance was really hard work. They were doing everything in the book to try not to pay me. So it was quite a sad thing financially. However, luckily it didn't affect me in my day-to-day life, but it did affect the car that I then chose to drive afterwards. I refused to buy anything expensive. I said, you know what, I'm going to buy a banger. I'm not going to let these thieves, have one over me. So I'm going to buy a rubbish banging car now. So if they steal it, it won't make any difference to me. So that's what I did. I bought a 4 grand Mercedes convertible, which gave me a lot of joy. So yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to just downgrade for a while. And also it helped me to reflect that my car wasn't everything. I did love the car a bit too much. So maybe it was a lesson that I needed to learn.
Were you surprised by how the police and insurance companies handled your case?
The police, well, we filed a crime report. They just gave us a crime number. I just was quite disappointed because you hear about people's cars being stolen and the police finding it or making some kind of effort. Other than that crime number, which they gave us in the evening, I had nothing else to do with the police. So obviously, they don't really care about stolen cars, and that was a bit hard to kind of accept. I just kept hoping maybe they would find it. But obviously by then it had probably been shipped to another country or somewhere. But I've heard people's cars being returned even after they've been shipped somewhere. So a little bit of me just kept hoping, oh, maybe it will come back. But I was very disappointed with the police, and even more so with the insurance company, because obviously you pay them a big amount every month, and you feel like they're there to protect you, protect your car, but obviously not. They will try anything to not pay you. It took me quite a few months of stress and paperwork, and I did get some money back, but not what I would have hoped for.
Did you ever recover the F-PACE? If so, what condition was it in?
As I said, I never recovered the car. I think what I would like to say to people is, at the end of the day, it is a chunk of metal, although it is a good looking piece of metal. You just have to move on and just be grateful that you're safe, you're well. You could have been involved in an accident in that car. You could have been written off. So many things could have happened to you. And at the end of the day, I'm safe, my family is safe, and that's all that matters to me. I have to think of it as a materialistic object, and that really just gives me more peace to think about it that way. But what I would say to people is, it is nice to have a nice car, however, it's not the be all and end all of everything. Or if you are going to get one, invest in the latest security systems. There's probably lots of things out there these days.
And finally, what would you like people to understand about the impact of car theft?
the impact of that theft, I think it kind of stays with you. You're forever kind of alert, thinking that something's going to happen. Oh no, for example, now I keep checking my car, keep locking it, put the steering lock on, and it's almost become a habit where I have to keep checking it. I have a bit of anxiety within me that I can't seem to shake off. So it does affect people long after the incident, because it's almost like you can't trust anyone, and you see people around your house, you do feel a bit suspicious and you feel a bit vulnerable to crime. Crime obviously happens everywhere. You do have to accept it. It's the world that we live in. Obviously, you have to try and keep safe and try and have a normal life as much as possible without having to worry. Just think about God and God protecting you from harm.
Law enforcement is constantly fighting back, tracking stolen vehicles and raiding chop shops, but the criminals are always adapting. So how can you protect yourself? Security experts recommend using steering wheel locks, tracking devices, and key signal blocking pouches to keep your car safe. The fight against car theft continues, but as long as there's a demand for cheap car parts, the cycle of stealing and stripping will never stop. So next time you see a cheap deal on car parts, ask yourself, where did it really come from? Car theft won't disappear overnight, but awareness is the first step. Protect your vehicle, stay informed, and help put the brakes on this hidden crisis.